Welcome back, landscapers, to the Diary of the Landscaper. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to start your own business. You don't need a lot of money. All you need is ganas and a clear vision of how to start. Uh, the first thing and the first advice that I'm going to give you is make sure you understand the numbers. Most of us, including myself, when I start charging or undercharging most all of my projects due to that I want to grow and get as much job as possible. And yeah, you can get a lot of job because when you're starting, and that happened to all of us, when we started, we get so much work that we grow sporadically, and that's a bad signal because you tend to miss some details. So the very first important thing is get your first job, uh, get to know the numbers. Like don't don't charge by square footage. Most of the people say, "Oh, I charge the artificial grass." As an example, $10 per square feet or $8 per square feet, and that's what we get wrong. Charging by square footage will give you no profit or very little profit, if you ever get a profit. Because once you start to paying labor, the materials, and your overhead, and your taxes, and all of that, you're gonna end up seeing that you're losing money instead of making money. So the goal is to understand. Like an example, let's go to the turf project, right? When I said the other day, to investigate or to do the math on how much I really had to charge for a square foot on the turf, $10.48. That was my square footage. But those $10.48 was based for material only, meaning everything that you're gonna need to do the work. It's an example. You're gonna get to the site, you're gonna excavate, dispose the soil, put fabric or with fabric. A lot of people do that. With fabric is another episode that I'm gonna do. There's no such thing as with fabric, but anyways. And then base rock, decomposite granite. Most people don't use that decomposite granite because they're undercharging. The turf, and this is an important thing. The turf is another factor and that will determine your price on square footage. So, because there is $3 turf, there is $5-6 square foot turf. So we're going to go with the basics: $2 square feet turf. So the turf, the nails, the cement tape, and the glue, and the bender board, and all the things that you need to put the turf together. That's around $10.48 per square foot. But that doesn't include your labor, your truck, your commute, all of that, right? So your employee burden. There is another thing that we most of the business owners, as we're starting, we don't know about employee burden. That is the cost related with your labor. Meaning, if you hire a person for 8 hours work, he's never going to work 8 hours on the job site. Some of the hours of labor gonna go to waste on getting materials, getting trips or phone uses, bathroom uses, breaks, lunchtime. So those are the burning hours. So employee burning. So roughly between 5 to 6 hours of work is a good ship for a good employee. Okay. So that's another thing to take in consideration when we start in our business. So again, we start and we are solo, right? We start solo, hiring some probably day labor or something like that, which is fine. When you're starting, you need to put your name up there. But most of us, we don't take the time to do this. So we ended up on the market with the low bidders and the tire kickers. And that will take you no far out or know where you want to be. So we need to learn to implement those numbers, and there is many software out there, or you can develop yourself one if you have some computer knowledge, like a spreadsheet. Like Google Sheets are a good tool to use. I start using myself. Some other tools is Jobber, Hoist, QuickBooks, PayPal, uh, LMN is another company. LMN is another software. Aspire. I mean, there is many softwares out there that can help you. The most common one and the most useful for you guys, because you guys are starting, is PayPal, or also Square if you want to use it. I know Square is more designed for stores, but you can use templates there for invoicing and sales for services. So PayPal as well, and Sheets, Google Sheets can help you generate the invoice in like a PDF format, right? So those are the free ones because there is no membership on PayPal, uh, Square, and Google Sheets, Hoist, and the other ones that I mentioned. Also, QuickBooks have a membership, and if you're starting, sometimes we don't have enough money to pay memberships for every single software out there. So, and that's part of the reason why you shouldn't be charging by square footage. Same thing in concrete. Most of us we start charging by a square foot. Like I've been hearing 8, 10, or $16 per square feet, depends on your if you're licensed or not. And regardless if you're licensed or not, you have to learn to charge the right amount. Meaning, I was saying, you need to start charging by the square foot, but you need to charge the right amount, regardless of license or not. And it's a two-way road. Like you don't have to tell the customer that your licenses or not. If they call you, either they research you already that you don't have a license, or they don't, or they didn't. So if they don't ask, it's like don't ask, don't tell. Okay. So based on that, you can charge like the pros and then start earning what you worth. Because if you don't, then you're hurting yourself and you're hurting everybody around you, because you're not gonna be able to make any profit. And we as a professional that we understand those numbers now, we're gonna have hard time bidding on those projects because people are undercharging. Anyways, so if you win, we win, everybody wins. But sometimes we just land into the face that I had to charge less to get my name out there. And the reality is calculate your overhead and your profits margin and all those things so you can be a profitable business and you don't have to be slave of your own business or grinding 16, 18, 20 hours for your business when you can making way more profit. So a good way to do is, again, get sit on your desk, office, library, whatever you are, and the smartphone is a good option because there's a lot of all the information in the world. With ChatGPT, you can ask, hey, what is the square footage rate on my area? Just put your area up there, like, oh, I'm in San Jose, California, and what is the square footage of my area of concrete? And it's gonna give you, again, a window of between $8 to $10, depends on, and it's gonna give you some information there, or a lot of information. So you're gonna base your price on that. So let's say, and on top of that, go to the vendors like the rockeries, the concrete mixer company, the landfill, everywhere, and try to get a list of price. That's what I did on my spreadsheet. that I'm still working on it, and I'm gonna develop that, put, and I'm gonna start giving it away to many landscapers that are subscribing to this podcast and sharing this podcast, so we can all have that information. That should be free, no charge. I know a lot of people right now is charging online, like, oh, I can sell you this list to be successful and profitable in business. And then here is all about networking. I'm not I'm not gonna charge for that list or those pricing and all that bullshit. So because I want everybody to grow and don't struggle like we all do when we start. Okay, because we all start wrong. Yeah, I mean, we just got the ganas to go make a business, and then pretty soon we realize we're just working with a never ending failures, and you will never end. But don't take it as a failure. It's a learning experience. So then again, back to the topics. Research for the jar of concrete, how much it costs you, the jar of base rock, and what is the store that's the cheapest in your area. There is always like a big recycling yard that they can sell you uh, the base rock recycle or something for a very fraction of the price of the rockery. I know a lot of people don't like to use it, but it's good, it's great, it's up to code. So, anyways, but and then also if you don't own a truck and you're gonna rent it, put it on your estimate. You're going to rent a truck, put it on your estimate. Even though if you own a truck, put it on your estimate. Because if you don't, again, you're losing money because that truck is gonna be breaking or insurance and licenses and gasoline and or diesel, whatever you put on that truck, is gonna eat your profits. So that's why it's very important to put it on the estimate and figure out a percentage, right? In my case, on the list that I'm working on it, I put around 100 or so per day on the truck. Again, that is based on my business, based on what I do, and based on the truck that I own. But I mean, you can start by $50 per day or $30 like or $20 like Home Depot rent the truck for $20 for 15 minutes or so. You can start with that. At least it's something. At the end of the week, you're gonna if you use it 7 days, you're gonna end up with $140 for that truck, and those can go towards maintenance, towards gasoline, towards diesel again. So again, $20 to me is not enough, but you can start with that and always make a record of that, like record all those expenses on paper, on the phone. I mean, in these days, you don't need to have a paper. I don't have a papers with me. I don't have a notebook. All I have is my phone. So I use the phone, the notes. There's journal. I mean, there is so many apps on the phone now that you don't need to carry on paper. And a phone too is a good tool to help you understand business and make sure you understand uh, budgeting and estimating. Because an estimate is way different than a proposal. And a proposal is way different than a quote. Okay, the estimate, you're estimating the stuff, the name says it all, estimating. So it's very important that when you're estimating, you put on your contract approximately for every single line item. So like if there's 50 plants, approximately we're gonna install 50 5-gallon plants, blah 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 blah. Thinking for pavers or concrete, this is not approximate because it's an estimate. Sometimes there is some factors to take consideration, and we miss too, like the terrain. We never take in consideration of the terrain, like meaning the backyard, the front yard, hillside, slope side, how far you had to go from the material to the working zone. All those things we don't put that in consideration, and that's what part of the employee burden and the markup and the margins too, and the overhead costs, because we assume, oh, okay, I'm gonna charge again. You charge for square footage, you're losing money, because let's say you charge $10 per square foot on concrete, and the concrete is all the way in the back on a hillside, so, and the only way to get there is with a wheelbarrow or with a pump. So then you charge $10 per square feet, and it's not a big area. Guess what? The pump depends on your area. Here in my area, it's around $500 to set the pump. So there you go. You're minus $500 on the square footage price. So that way is very important. Yes, square footage will only buy you the material, but you have to put the equipment and everything. And also understand your minimum. Man, so many people out there don't work with a minimum. I do it. I was like that too. I was trying to take any job, and sometimes that's a big mistake as well, a big no. That's as an example. Some people say, "Oh, one bulb, that's 120, 150. I don't know. Those chiffon bulb, 3/4 chiffon bulb, Hunter, Rainbow, whatever brand. There's a no as well, because 150. I don't think you're gonna get any profit in there. Again, because the other bulb is gonna cost you probably $20. Depends on where you buy it, but around $20, maybe less. If you buy it in an irrigation store. Another thing, learn your stores. Learn where is the commercial professional stores from every trade or every task that you're gonna do, like for concrete, like look around for rockeries and research pricing on each one. And for concrete mix too, there's so many concrete companies out there. Like here in my area, Star Concrete or Concrete Ready Mix, to name a couple. And then your irrigation stores too. I'm gonna name a few. I don't get no advertisement or no ads money from that, but I'm still gonna name it because it's good to know it. Like Water Savers, Horizon, Ewing, or what is it? Imperial. Those are sprinkler stores or landscape stores. Side One as well. Those Side One is good because they also have pavers and many other things. So go in there. It's always good to have a good relationship with them too, because the vendors are there to help you. And the more, I don't think you should go exclusive like one vendor, because sometimes that is you as well. Because I was like that with some vendors, and they start treating you well, but then at the end they raise the prices, and then the other store have cheaper price, but they tell you, oh no, we're giving you good price because you're being long with us, but they raise anyway. It's another episode, a good topic for another episode. So make sure you develop some relationship with the vendors and understand and know your stores, and put that in consideration when you're estimating to how far is your project from the stores, from the vendors. Because sometimes, like here in my area, Los Gatos, Saratoga, they're on the hillsides there in the mountains, and at least you're gonna spend 30 minutes each way to get to the store. So it's a lot of windshield, a lot of overhead right there. So again, if you charge by square footage, you're losing money because all that time wasted. It's not wasted, but it is wasted because you're losing the money. So all that time is gonna eat your profits, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be working for free, and that's why it's very hard for a business owner or entrepreneur to pay itself. Pay yourself first. Learn a method or a system. Develop a system. Develop system is the word that I have to use for all those budgeting, estimating, quoting, proposals. Okay, develop system that can generate you the way to pay yourself. Because if now you're just gonna be working, grinding like crazy, and you're gonna go, the next one is gonna be the good one, and the next one is gonna be the good one, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna be able to do it. Because you're just gonna be burned all every day, working 7 days a week, 12, 16 hours a day. So again, back to the topic, develop the system, research for materials costs, labor costs too, and that's another issue. If you pay $20 per hour to a guy, so you should be charging at least 3 times as much as that, and that will cover your overhead and your profit margin for each employee. At least, again, it can be more. It all depends on the trade too, right? You're not gonna be able to charge $100 per hour for maintenance probably, but you can charge $100 per hour for pavers or concrete work. Again, it all depends, and that's why some companies don't do maintenance, some companies do maintenance. So like yard mowing, a lot of people go charge by visit, right? Which is fine. Again, your money get into, you get the cash flow more faster, but you have to understand how much time you spend on each house. So that's why an app like Jobber is good, or Element, because they help you to track the time, and at the end of the day or the month, they can give you a report of how many hours you spent there. But again, always calculate your labor, your time. So let's say you're gonna spend half an hour per visit in a yard, in a house, small property, any decent house in your neighborhood. Like most of the neighborhood, the yards, the most of the neighborhood, the houses or the yards are equal square footage, right? A little bit of, some of them have more grass, some of them have more shrubs. So either way, you should learn your area. So start by tracking your time, get to the house, put a timer, and see how much time you took in that property, maintaining, like pulling weeds, mowing, trimming, blowing, whatever. And then then that you're gonna add that time with your tools. So if you do use blower, mower, hair trimmers, again, they need to make money because they cost you money. If you don't charge for your tools, then your tools breaks, and then you're again have to buy a new one, and you eating your profits. So you have to charge like equipment rental, right? You're not gonna charge $100 each time you go to a house, but that's why you have to divide the amount of hours that you use the machine through the day. As an example, you have 8 houses, and in each house you use a trimmer 15 minutes each house. So you add up all those 15 minutes, let me say it, and then divided by the cost of the machine, or the cost of the time that you think that or multiply by the time of the amount that you think the machine is worth per day. I don't know, $5, $15. I mean, those are numbers that I just came out from my mind, but you have to do it on your own, because again, each company is different. It's not gonna be the same for me if I'm driving a 2500 Ram with diesel and everything. So the cost for me for diesel and truck, it will be more expensive because there is more maintenance to do on a diesel truck than a gasoline. Same thing for the equipment, or if it's electric or whatever. But you have to start calculating all that and put it on the spreadsheet. Again, the spreadsheet that I'm developing will have a lot of that information provided. But there is another website that I know is the How to Hardscape website, howtohardscape.com. There is a spreadsheet that are selling there for $79, $80, so you can understand and start budgeting your business. So there you go. Again, knowing your labor costs, material costs, your overhead and your profit. The overhead, again, it depends on the company and the size of the company. If you ask Google or ChatGPT, they're gonna tell you between $50 to $25, 25% of the uh, percent of the profit margin you should do. But there's some companies like the one who develop the LMN software. That one, the overhead or profit margin, I will say, the overhead it was 3%, which is very slow, very small, very minimal. But they figured out a number to make that. So if you figure that out, again, the more you get, the more good with your numbers, the better for you, because you will be able to charge less but making money. So you're eliminating the your competitors, your competition, the other guys, by having a small overhead and a profit margin. Again, once you once you calculate that, again and another thing that most of us we don't do, we have to revise pricing every single year. I know guys that are charging $80, $70 per month per visit on maintenance for years. Every year is good, it's recommended, and it's good. A minimum of 10% raise to be profitable. But many guys out there, they just keep going, same rate, same hours. That's why they keep grinding 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And that's bad, because you're never gonna be able to get out of the slavery of your own business. So the purpose of being entrepreneur is the business needs to work for you, not you working for the business. So, and it's hard to do it when you don't understand the numbers. So numbers is the most important thing to start your company. Understand the number, budgeting, pricing, and everything. And then there are tools. Every time you do a job, some of that profit is going to be reinvested on the company to get more tools, more marketing, whatever you need. So again, the first year is going to be very little profit for you, because you're gonna be reinvesting on your company. I know a lot of us don't take that, and that's why it's very important. Again, understand your numbers. Second thing is either grow or profit. You cannot do both things at once unless you have a good team and a very good mind and a very good help. Because by yourself, you're not gonna be able to do it. I have tried many times, and it is impossible. Consider it's like serving two gods, two baths. It's like the state says you cannot please two kings. It's either one or the other one. Same thing with your business. If you want to grow, then your profits are gonna be smaller, but you can grow. But if you want to make more profit, then you're not gonna grow. You're just gonna increase your rates. So again, make sure you choose one path and go for it all the way. I try to choose both, and it's a disaster. You're not gonna be able to grow or make profit both at the same time. Again, I'm giving you advice from the bottom of my heart. I passed through that, and nope. I used to have a lot of guys, 30 guys, and then went down to be solo again, and then back again. So I tried many times, and again, all learning experience. You cannot do it. So again, back to that topic. If you want to make more profit, let's say you're growing, you want to grow, but let's go with the profit again. You have 20 customers, and you're trying to get more, and you're charging good. You understand your numbers. You're charging good. So it is time for you to make more profit or grow. Choose one right there. If you want more profit, then all you need to do is raise the prices. Yeah, some clients are gonna go because you're gonna be too expensive for them. But guess what? With the raise, or the rights that you get, they will pay it off the ones they left. So see, you get, and then you're gonna get more clients at the new rate, so you're gonna make more money that way. But you're not growing. You just kind of stay balanced because you're gonna lose some, but you're gonna gain some. So you're gonna get the equal and making more profit. And at the other hand, if you want to grow, then your profit is gonna stay the same, but you're gonna be able to take or tackle more jobs. Both both options are good. It's just again understanding your numbers. To me, I'm trying to go this time with the growing in profits, not growing in size. So let's say the first 5 years growing profits and then on size, and then again back to profit, and then keep jumping back and forth. So your company can grow and make more profit at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but in steps, like tiers. One tier is profit, one tier is growth, and then same thing until you reach the top of the pyramid. And that way, you will be able to grow your business. And another thing, start your own business. You have to learn to let go. You will never gonna be able to grow if you want to do everything solo. Mean that you don't trust your guys. There's no guy that's gonna do it like you or will do it like you because it's you. Your business is you. It's your idea. Your brand. And you are your own brand. Nobody can match it. Nobody can copy. Nobody, I mean, there is some copycats, but they're not gonna be able to do it exactly as you. You have to understand to let go, but develop a culture in the company or a system that can train your guys to do as close as possible as you want your perfection. Like there is no 100% for sure. There is no way in the world or in the universe to be 100%. That's a myth. That's a big lie that we as humans accept it. But there is no way. There is no way to get to 100%. So make sure you train your guys, invest on them, and invest on you. Invest on you too. So, because the more you grow, they're gonna grow. If they grow, you grow. So it's a two-way road. And most of the business owners, they don't want to let the employee do it because we think, oh, I can do it better. Yeah, you might be able to do it better, or maybe the guy is way better than you, but you had the remorse to let it because you feel defeat or upset. No, let it be, man. Let the guy be and be yourself and understand that you as a leader not to take the responsibility in every task from the employees, just to guidance and to show and develop you guys to the culture that you want. So that's why the big corporation have that system when the company can run by itself. You don't need to be there 24/7 and the company is still making money and running. So develop that system, make a culture. So another thing that I strongly advise you, make paperwork or spreadsheets or documents that you can handle to your guys and look, this is the company policy, this is our vision, this is our culture, this is our branding. Make sure the employees understand that, because again, I come from that, or came from that, and because I was just hiring by like popping sodas or popping beers, let's say, hiring people and yeah, let's go, never bring a process to filter good guys and bad guys. They always coming good and bad and always going, and that is a big hit on your pocket because your profit just drains. I mean, there is guys they just don't have the vision. They just don't care. I mean, it's hard to understand that you have to develop a system that can make sure you guys are in the same boat, or otherwise you're gonna just be riding the wave and you're one is pedaling one side and the other one is pedaling the opposite side, so the ship is just spinning, not going nowhere. So a system that I suggest to develop is like I read many books, but develop a system where you guys understand your vision and ask them, hey, what is your vision? What is that you want to achieve working for us? They don't have an answer. They don't have an integrity. Those are the first guys that you have to exclude from your company. Otherwise, they will drag you down, and that is gonna be very, very hard to do. So, a brief resume about what we talk about starting your own business is understanding your numbers, develop systems, meaning paperwork that you can handle, and develop a way to pay you. Always pay you first, not last. Most of us pay ourselves last, and that's a big bad habit for a business owner, entrepreneur. And make sure you train and give hands-on training to the guys and knowledge so they can do the work without you being there. And the last one, and not the least one, is once you have that, always revise those records every year, every quarter. The more you revise them, the better your business is gonna grow. Because if not, you're just running like a chicken without head, just jumping around and not getting nowhere. So it's very important for you to understand those things. And I guess this podcast or this episode comes to the end. Again, this is not a scripted podcast. Everything that I'm saying is coming from my mind. I'm speaking from my heart. So if I miss a topic, or there is a topic that you want us to try or touch or make an episode, DM us, comment on this, or make yourself know about it, or a note or something. And we always gonna be happy to make an episode and with more details about that. And don't forget to follow the Diary of the Landscaper. Share, comment, really help us keep going and making more episodes and be out there. So stay green, my friends. Grow green, live clean. The Diary of the Landscaper. Thank you.